Good morning or afternoon or whenever you're doing this. Today we're going to be doing our yoga class on the mat, and we start on our backs and warm up for about 15 or 20 minutes. So pretty long warm up. And then we eventually make our way up to standing, and we'll be doing our Warrior Two flow today. So we will need our yoga blocks. So take a minute and find your props, find what you need. And let me pause this. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's okay. All right. So we're going to start on our back. So go ahead and get down on your back on your yoga mat. Get yourself settled. And you might as well shift yourself so that you're right in the center of your mat, because we will be bringing our feet out to the edges of our mats. We don't want to be twisting our spines. So just make sure you're nice and centered on your mat. And for now, you can have your feet in line with your hips. Let your hands rest underneath your ribs so that you can feel your ribs under your hands. And we'll just start by bringing our focus to our breath. Don't need to change your breath, just feel it. It's something your body does naturally. You don't even have to think about it, really. But in yoga, we do bring our attention to our breath. And sometimes we try to manipulate it a little just to keep that awareness. And right now, just feel what happens as you breathe in and breathe out. You may notice your belly rising and falling with your breath. Maybe you feel it more in your chest. Just notice. Now for our next 5 breath cycles, we're going to breathe into our sides. So breathe in as if you could expand your ribs out to the sides. And then as you breathe out, let your ribs come back in towards the center. So do that 4 more times. And when you're ready, release your arms out to the sides. Let your palms turn up towards the ceiling. Relax your arms. Relax your shoulders. Reposition your spine if you need to. We're going to do some windshield wipers next. And we'll just start with windshield wipers with our feet where they are. So don't move your feet yet, even though I just moved my feet. In other words, just regular windshield wipers, nothing, no wide stance or anything. So just let your legs start to move side to side. And then once you've got a nice little rhythm here, see if you can inhale as your legs come up and exhale as your legs come down. One more time to each side. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Reposition again if you need to. Take a breath here. And then walk your heels up toward your bottom. So now squeeze the backs of your knees, behind your knees. Feet press into the floor. Bring your hands down next to your hips. We're going to do our bridge pose next. So your arms stay passive. When you're ready, press into your feet and slowly lift your spine off the floor and only come up as far as it feels comfortable, because right away you'll feel your thigh muscles engage. You want to ease into this. We never want to try to get to the highest point or, hold it as long as we can. We never want to do 100%. We're always working within our comfort zone. And now slowly lower back down. Relax. And bring both knees up towards your chest. Pull your knees in. Again, only within your comfort zone. Just take a breath or two. And now we're going to do some alternate knee to chest. So hold on to your right knee, stretch your left leg up into the air and flex both feet. And we're just going to work with our breath today. So as we exhale, the left leg comes down almost to the floor on an exhale. And then as you inhale, lift your left leg back up. And exhale, right leg comes down almost to the floor, keeping your feet flexed. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, left leg down. Just keep following your breath now. Warming up your hips, your thighs, your knees. Just starting to use your core muscles. All right, the next time your left leg comes down, go ahead and pause there. So your leg is just hovering right above the floor. Good. Breathe, don't forget your breath. And now we're going to switch sides. Bringing your left knee up, bringing your right leg down almost to the floor, and pause. Okay, then bring your right knee up. We're going to hold our knees in again, both knees in. Hold them in just a little farther than you did before. And now release your feet back down, and this time walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. You may need to reposition your back again. You always want to keep your spine in neutral, even though we're working those muscles in our backs. You want to keep coming back to center. That's one of the goals of yoga, is to keep finding center. Okay, again, arms out to the sides, palms facing up. And then we'll do some wide-legged windshield wipers. Moving your legs side to side. Really take your time and feel what you feel. And if you like, inhale as your legs come up and exhale as your legs come down. Nice and slow. The slower you move, the slower you can breathe. When we slow our breath down, we reset our nervous systems. Okay, the next time your legs come to the right side, pause there. Your legs don't need to touch the floor. Just let them hover wherever they land and keep your arms where they are. So far, our upper bodies have been relatively passive and we're just warming up our lower bodies. So you might be feeling a little difference between the energy in your lower body and your upper body. Just notice that. And then when you're ready, switch sides. Let your legs move to the left and pause there. Take a few breaths. All right. Slowly bring your legs back up and walk your feet back in line with your hips. One more time, reposition. And now we're going to add in a spinal twist. This is where we're going to start to engage our core muscles in our upper bodies. So walk your feet in towards each other. So now you feel the insides of your legs, the insides of your feet. Slide your arms up overhead. Take a minute and adjust here. I always feel like I need to adjust my back when I do this. There's a little arch in your middle back when you do this. So take a minute and settle here. And then interlace your fingers. Let your legs fall to the right and bring your arms over to the left. So it's not a big movement, but it has a big effect. Notice where you feel this. And of course, if it doesn't feel good, you need to come out of it. You need to take your time and come back to neutral. We never want to have pain in yoga. So take your time again, coming out of this position, bringing your legs up, bringing your arms back overhead, and then continue the other way. Legs to the left, arms to the right. On your next inhale, slowly make your way back to center, releasing your arms back down, repositioning your spine, and one more time, knees to chest. See if you can pull your knees in just a little farther this time. All right, go ahead and release your feet back down. We're going to make a transition up into a sitting position next. So roll to one side, use your top hand, top arm to help yourself up and come into a nice cross-legged position. Sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. Let your hands rest on your legs. Let your inner thighs adjust because we don't sit like this enough. We don't do this very often unless we purposely do it. This is not our natural way of sitting. So sometimes your inner thighs can be a little tight here. And if it's super uncomfortable, it's okay to take one leg out or both legs out. I'm just going to continue warming our upper bodies a little. So let's start with spinal rotations. Nice and slow to start to make circles with your torso. One more time in this direction. And then reverse when you're ready. One more time. When you come up to neutral, pause. Hold on to the fronts of your knees. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears and push your belly towards your spine as you round your back. Breathe into it. And now on your next inhale, slowly lift up and continue in the opposite direction, pushing your spine towards your belly, pressing your shoulders down away from your ears. You might feel your shoulder blades squeeze together. Let your head tip back just a little bit. Take a few breaths. And then slowly come back to neutral and pause. All right. Next, we're going to do a side stretch, just a simple side stretch. So take your right hand down to the mat, lift your left arm up, and lean to the right. That's it. That's your stretch right there. So you want to feel that sensation of lengthening your left side. Your left arm is reaching up, your left hip is pressing down. And of course, we'll do the same on the other side. So on your next exhale, release your left arm down, and then inhale, raise your right arm up. And as you exhale, you're going to be in this side stretch, and then just find your breath. Lengthening your right side. All right, on your next inhale, release. And as you exhale, start to roll your shoulders, loosening up. All right. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees, excuse me, hands and knees next. Take a minute and settle yourself. Make sure your knees are under your hips and your wrists are under your shoulders and your fingers are spread wide. So we want to spread our fingers wide so the weight comes onto the four corners of your palm. And then just start by moving your hips side to side. So kind of like windshield wipers, we're still warming up our hips, warming up our low backs. The next time your hips come to the right side, pause there and turn your head to the left. So again, you're getting a nice little side stretch here. Then on your next inhale, slowly come back to center. Exhale, hips to the left and head to the right. All right, let's come back to neutral. And go right back to a cat pose. Tuck your tailbone and round your back. And now let's come into cow pose. Lift your tailbone, drop your belly, press your shoulder blades together as you lift your head and chest, arching your back. Now go ahead and come back to neutral. Take a couple breaths here. We're going to do our cats and cows with our breath. So you can stay on your hands and knees, or you can come down to your forearms and knees for this. On your next inhale, start to round your back. And as you exhale, come into cat pose. And then inhale, lift your tailbone. Exhale, drop your belly, press your shoulder blades together into cow pose. 4 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Do that 3 more times on your own. Now, after your next cow pose, bring yourself back to neutral. If you're not on your forearms yet, go ahead and come down to your forearms. Bring the palms of your hands together and make space between your knees. So take a breath or two here. And then we're going to start to move forward and back. So chin towards your thumbs, hips towards your heels. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. The next time your chin comes over your thumbs, pause there. Feel your core muscles engage. Belly is pulling in. You can't really maintain this unless you use your core muscles. And then when you push your hips back towards your heels, you can release those core muscles and now feel your hips, your knees, your thighs, and your low back. When you're ready, come on back up onto your hands and knees. We're going to do one more warm-up exercise here, and then we'll be standing in just a few minutes. So coming back to your hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're just going to do this one time. We're going to do our thread the needle, but we're just going to do it one time, and we're going to hold it for about 5 breaths. Inhale, lift your left arm up and pause right here. 5 breaths. And now release your arm down, reach over to the right side, bring the palm of your hand to the floor. Pause here for 5 breaths. And when you're ready, come back to hands and knees. Reposition if you need to, and then we'll repeat on the other side. So inhale, right arm comes up, and we pause for 5 breaths. On your next exhale, release your right arm down, over to the left, palm to the floor, and pause here. All right, slowly come back up to neutral, but this time we're going to stand on our knees. Now, this isn't super comfortable for everybody. We won't be here very long. Just one little pose here. Two poses, actually. We usually do whatever we do in one direction, we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So we're going to do a camel pose. Bring the backs of your hands to your low back. Start to press your elbows in towards each other. And then gently press your pelvis forward as you lengthen your spine in this nice, gentle arch. Take a few breaths. This is not easy. And if it bothers you, if it feels uncomfortable or unsafe, come out of the pose starting at your pelvis. Starting at your pelvis. That's where all the action is right now, is around your low back and your back of your pelvis. Take another breath or two. And then when we come out of this pose, start the movement at your pelvis, bringing your spine back into neutral, releasing your arms, coming back to your hands and knees. And this time we're going to come all the way up into downward facing dog. And this might be the first time you feel your calves. So go ahead and alternate lifting and lowering your heels. And then press both heels down towards the floor. Press your chest towards your thighs. Let your neck relax. Now we're going to come up to standing next. So if you just want to walk your feet towards the center of the mat and come up that way, that's fine. Otherwise, you can bring your knees back down. Come back up onto your, standing on your knees. Step 1 foot forward, hands to your thigh. Use that nice strong leg there as your prop to help yourself up. Go ahead and adjust your screen. I need to move my screen here. And then we're going to come into a wide stance on our mats. We'll be using our yoga blocks in just a minute or two. Make sure you have your yoga block nearby. Okay, so coming into a wide stance with your hands on your hips, start to make circles with your hips. Okay, go the other way. And then come on back to neutral and pause. Now we'll do spinal rotations from this position with your hands on your hips. Now we're going to rotate our torsos, make circles with our torsos, as if your head was drawing a circle in the air, kind of a weird, wonky circle. You got to use your imagination sometimes. Just loosening up. Let's do 2 more in this direction. And when you come up to neutral again, pause and reverse. Two more times. Now, when you come up to neutral again, pause. Maybe move your feet in a little closer to each other so you can relax. Take your arms down by your sides. Let your shoulders relax. Find your breath again. We're making a little transition now into our standing sequence. We want to ground ourselves first. So feel your feet on the floor. Feel the strength in your legs. Notice how your spine feels. All that energy moving through your spine. Try to relax your arms and feel your breath again. And then one time, we're going to inhale as we raise our arms up and exhale as we press down. Press down. So we're going to move into a warrior two next. Since we're standing long ways on our mats, we can simply turn the left foot so it faces the short end of your mat, and then see if you can line up your left heel with your right arch. So your left knee bends, and naturally your torso is going to want to turn towards that left knee because that's where the action is right now. But in warrior two, we rotate our torsos parallel with the long edge of the mat. Okay, your block, if it's not there already, should be at least on the right side of your mat. Once you get into your lunge, you can change that if you like. So then for warrior two, we raise our arms parallel to the floor. We can turn our heads to the left if we like, or keep our heads in neutral. That's a lot of instructions. So let yourself settle here. Make sure your knee is directly over your ankle. You don't want your knee to go forward. You don't want to get in that habit because then you start to put strain on your knee. So take a few breaths here. Breathe into it. Let your body settle. And then turn your left palm so it faces up and tilt back into reverse warrior. So your left arm is reaching up, right arm slides down the back of your leg. Okay, next is side angle pose. We come back through warrior two. Bend your left elbow, bring your forearm to your thigh and your right hand to your hip. And then we move into triangle. So straighten your left leg, slide your left arm down and raise your right arm up. Now we're going to come back up to warrior two. Bend your left knee, lift your torso, bring your arms back out parallel to the floor, and turn your head if you like. So that was 4 poses. We're going to do that 3 times with our breath. So we'll be moving in and out of those poses with our breath. So get yourself settled here. And then when you're ready, you're inhaling here, exhaling into reverse warrior. Inhaling back to warrior two, exhaling into side angle pose. Inhaling as you straighten your left leg, exhaling into triangle. And then we inhale right back up, exhale reverse. Inhale warrior two, exhale side angle. Inhale, straighten your leg, exhale triangle. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale warrior two, exhale side angle. Inhale, exhale triangle, and then inhale back up, warrior two. Release your arms down by your sides. Okay, don't move your legs yet. We're going to come into a high lunge, and then we're going to go down into a low lunge. So the next pose is a little bit of a balancing position. So turn your torso to the left, bring your hands to your hips, rotate onto the ball of your right foot. Sometimes I feel like I need to move that left foot over a little, but you're already balancing here. If this doesn't work for you, go ahead and bring your fingertips to the floor, because that's where we're going next. Now you can stay here with your hands on your hips, or bring your arms out in front of you. Okay, now we're coming into a low lunge, bringing your fingertips down to the floor, find your block, use your block. You might start with that right knee up in the air, or you can go ahead and drop it down, relaxing your foot. Make sure your right thigh is at a nice strong angle. You're not on the top of your kneecap. You're kind of on the very front of the kneecap, up near your thigh. If this feels like enough, stay here. Otherwise, lift your torso. Deep stretch here, your right hip. And again, you can raise your arms up. So we're in the work phase of our class now. This is our work. The body is fully engaged. Okay, now fingertips back to the floor. Lift your right knee, and then we're going to rotate our whole bodies over to the long edge of the mat into a very wide straddle fold. So you might need to walk your feet in towards each other. Once your legs are settled, let your upper body drop down and relax. Couple more breaths. Now go ahead and get your block again. Bring your fingertips to the block. You could have your hands on the floor if that still works for you, but I like using the block. Fingertips on the floor or the block as you lift your chest. Press your shoulders away from your ears and lift your head. And it's not going to go far. And you're going to feel tension in the back of your neck. But we're squeezing out some of that tension. Releasing some of that tension that just likes to stay there. This is monkey pose. And now we're going to let the monkey go. Drop your head, drop your torso, bend your knees slightly. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, palms together, down to your heart. Take a breath or two. All right, so now we're going to reverse everything. We're going to turn the other way. You might want to move your block first. And then when you're ready, turn your right foot so it faces the other short end of your mat. Line up your heel, your right heel with your left arch, bending your right knee. So building your foundation. Once your legs are in place, come into warrior two. And then when you're ready, reverse your warrior. Right arm is up, left arm is down, leaning back slightly. Okay, back to warrior two. And then into side angle pose. Right forearm to your right thigh, left hand to your hip. Belly pulled in, you're working that left shoulder back. So don't let your chest fall forward. There's not a whole lot of effort in that. But when you press your left shoulder back, you give yourself a little twist here in your side. And then triangle. Straighten your right leg, slide your right arm down, lift your left arm up. All right, bend your knee, bring yourself back up to warrior two. And then again, we're going to do that 3 times with our breath. It doesn't take long. So catch your breath here. Then on your next exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, left arm up, triangle. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, reverse. If you're not getting the breath, don't worry about it. You're gonna breathe. Side angle pose. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. One more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale and exhale, triangle. And then inhale, back to warrior two. Release your arms down. So leave your legs where they are. Find your center again, and then we're going to move into that lunge series. So if that didn't work for you, staying upright for the first lunge, go ahead and plan on bringing your fingertips down once you turn towards your right knee. I'll go ahead and do it that way this time. Fingertips come down, and then you rotate onto the ball of your left foot. You could stay here with your fingertips on the floor, or you can attempt to lift yourself back up, hands on your hips. So there are many ways to get into these poses, and there's always modifications. You want to find the way that works for you. I've been doing this for so many years that even though I'm wobbling right now, this feels comfortable to me. It's not good for everybody. Okay, now fingertips to the floor or the block. And then drop your left knee down. Nice strong angle on your left thigh. You feel that in your left thigh. You can stay there. Lift your torso. You have your hands on your hips. Or raise your arms up. All right, go ahead and bring your hands back to the floor. We're going to transition out of this a different way now. So bring your palms to the floor. Bring your right knee back to meet your left knee. We're going to come back to downward facing dog. So you want to have your knees underneath your hips before you come into down dog. And then stretch your legs back. Press your bottom up, chest towards your thighs, heels towards the floor. And now we're going to come into plank. So this is our last big effort here. Breathe into it, feel your core. Then drop your knees. Keep your elbows in towards your chest and you slowly lower down. Once you come all the way down, lift your head and chest. Press your elbows in. Breathe. This is the last big effort right here. And then we're going to rest in child's pose. You can leave your arms stretched out as you press your hips towards your heels, or you can cross your arms. You can also use your block here, put your head on your block. So modify it any way you need to. I'll stay there as long as you like. But eventually, we're going to make our way onto our back. So however you want to get there is fine. I'm going to move my screen down so I'm not so far away. But we're making our way onto our backs. And go ahead and keep your block nearby. We have a little modification here at the end if you like. Just make sure you can reach your block. Coming onto your back. Seems like we're always adjusting our clothes. Whew. Take a few breaths. And if you feel like you're just done, that's okay. Just be done. Just lay there. Lay there and breathe. But I'm going to go through a few cool down poses, which you could choose or skip. I like to do maybe 3 or 4 as a cool down. So you choose what works for you. And we'll start with knees to chest. We don't necessarily need to bring those knees in very tight. We can just hold on loosely. It's like you're giving yourself a hug. And then maybe start to rock side to side. And then we're going to draw some circles in the air. So pause on the right side. Let your knees draw circles in the air now. As you move from side to side, you feel this on your back. And now reverse these circles. And then come on back to neutral. Keep your knees up. Find your breath. Reach around behind your thighs. Lift both legs up and flex both feet. Stretching out your calves, backs of your knees. Maybe you even feel it in your hamstrings. Feel the length in the back of your legs. And then start to make some circles with your feet. Reversing those circles. And then bring your feet back down to the floor. Making sure your heels are lined up with your hips. So we're not in a wide stance. We're just in a neutral position here. And let's do some windshield wipers. I recommend moving slowly. Remember, you're choosing here. You don't have to do all of this. I'm going through them kind of fast. You get to choose. What does your body love at this moment? What feels so good? You just want to keep doing it. And now, after windshield wipers, I'm going to recommend a figure 4 pose. And make sure your spine is in neutral, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. And if that feels like enough, just stay there. You're going to feel that in your right hip. Otherwise, you can lift both legs and bring them up towards your chest. We're not really pulling anything in. We're just kind of managing that position. This is always good to do after your practice at the very end because it gets deep down into your hip muscles. all around your sciatic nerve area where we get tight from all the sitting we do. You could hold this longer if you like. But the next natural progression from here would be to put your foot back to the floor and then do some more windshield wipers. So it's a little different sensation when you have your leg crossed like this. So maybe try that, see if you like it. We're always exploring in yoga. We're always getting to know ourselves, getting to know our bodies and our minds when we practice yoga. Because we always have resistance to this or that. We always have expectations. Those two things kind of get us in trouble. So we always want to do the same thing on each side. So if you've done that figure 4 and those windshield wipers, go ahead and switch sides. So this time it's the left ankle over the right thigh. And for me, I always feel this a little more intensely in my left hamstring. I don't know why. For some reason, my left side is a little unbalanced. We're all unbalanced in some way or another. So stay here as long as you like. And if you choose, bring your foot to the floor and do a few windshield wipers. And then gradually bring yourself back to neutral again. And then we can do one more spinal twist. So spinal twist is always good at the end as well. And for me, the simple spinal twist always works. You're just in neutral, letting your legs move to one side and bringing your arms to the other side. So just like we did in the beginning, arms come up overhead, arms are to the left, legs are to the right, or vice versa. And so now we're just allowing our bodies to soften and ease out of our practice. Let go of some of that effort. Okay, and now to come out of this, we move slowly and mindfully back into neutral and continue the other way. Again, hold that as long as you like. Eventually coming back to neutral. You may be ready to rest. I'm going to recommend one more thing, maybe two more. It's always good to do a butterfly pose at the end as well, because that really stretches your inner thighs. And we don't get a lot of stretching in our inner thighs because of the sitting that we do. So you could do this, butterfly, or you can take your block and slide it up underneath the back of your pelvis. Make sure it's not in your lumbar vertebra, not where your back starts to arch, but it's underneath those big bones behind your pelvis. And you could just rest there. Or you could also add that butterfly back in. Hands resting wherever they're comfortable. And this can be your last pose. What this does is it recenters your pelvis. It brings everything back into alignment. Now, if you're in butterfly pose and you're ready to come out of it, you can use your hands to lift your legs back up. Stay on that block if it feels good, or move it off to the side. We're just going to rest. Now we're going to rest for about 2 or 3 minutes, not too long. So whatever feels good to you, however you want to be right now, just let yourself relax. When your mind starts to wander, just bring your focus back to your breath. Maybe repeating to yourself, inhale, exhale, over and over again. Now, when you're ready, start to move maybe your fingers, maybe your toes, maybe your head or your wrists. Eventually rolling over onto one side, helping yourself up into a sitting position. Take a couple of deep breaths. Let yourself sigh out loud if that feels good to you. It always feels good to me. Letting go of any kind of tension or stress that still lingers. Just let it go. You don't need it. And then once you feel settled again, start to rub your hands. Open your hands out to the sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down to your heart and bow forward. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Have a good day.